I just want to say first, this story is 100% true and it was terrifying. It was a cloudy day full of mist, in 7th grade. 3 kids, 1 classroom. Krista, the school whore. Chase, a cool athletic kid. And the observer. My friend Jay said he became their leader for the club. He said that me and my other friend Gaga could be the go-leaders. I said, let's go tell them that they can't be in the club cues they're Mexicans, che, chua or ah. We had to go find them. I saw the 3 walking into an 8th grade classroom. Their asses were mine now. We started walking in. Jay was in front of me. I was in the cloakroom with Gaga. Jay saw horror to this day that haunts him. His expression on his ball was shit. He had the shit scared out of his balls. He walked away trying not to mush up the shit. An old school tradition is to dead stare at someone. I peeped my head out of the cloakroom and dead stared at the observer. I saw her boobs. They were flat. I looked to the right to see Chasey without any pants. An 8-inch boner as skinny as a pencil, covered in blood. And Krista sitting doggy style on a table with a gaping butthole gushing blood faster than a steamy hot ejaculation and a blood pentagram on her left butt cheek. It took me a moment to process the boobs, the dagger dick, the anus blood pentagram, and the butt fountain. But when I did, I sure as fuck broke that awkward silence with a moan louder than Krista screaming when Chasey fucked her. Chasey on the beat. The 3 of us ran as fast as we could, not looking back, with our dicks filled with adrenaline. I told Jay and Gaga that we can't even be a part of the club since we were Catholics. We spent all break thinking about what we would do. We decided we needed to strike first. And the only way we could do that is with a little meth. We went to the bathroom and I unscrewed the light switch off the wall with Jizzy's dick. It came off and the stash was still the baby. So I rolled some of that shit so we each had 30 milligrams joints, and I slipped a little PCP when no one was looking to make us strong. I also mixed some water with some meth and we shared an 4 and injected 100 milligrams each. And we each snorted a 50 milligrams line. I thought we were gonna be super soldiers. We spent the day tripping out in our desks because that PCP was some bad Benji. Okay, so then it was lunchtime and we had Earl Carter's of to our teacher Mrs. Jeff, which we tried to tell the story to. We were screaming monkey noises and jumping on her desk. I dove off the counter onto her computer while Jay was aggressively humping her while making primal grunts. Gaga jumped out the window and ran away. I awoke after school was over to find that me and Jay had fucked Mrs. Jeff. I took her on anally, while he humped her leg. We could barely walk, but we told her what happened. Krista and the observer barged in while we were having a 3-way under her desk. She jumped up and the girl and the observer jumped her. Me and Jay stayed under the desk watching their feet. They bit off both of Mrs. Jeff's ears. Mrs. Jeff threw them out the window and pissed on them. Krista turned around and squirted anal blood on Mrs. Jeff's boobs. It burned through her body. Me and Jay found Mrs. Jeff's cocaine stash and boofed it. We ran to the nearest sex shop. We watched tons of porn in a private theater while snorting lines of coke. We spent 3 days. They had to get the manager. She had big ass and tits. She said she would give up a blowjob and some shrooms if we left. She took us to a restroom. And she bit Jay's dick off. Gaga came and fucked her shit up. She literally shit out of her mouth. The 3 of us went to Jay's after school. We had a sleepover. Jay slipped some ludes in our vodka. Woo. He sure slipped a lot. We stumbled out to his garage and slept in his mom's car where we all took forks and axe bars. We were watching so much porn that the car was full of jizz. We were 1 foot deep in pink cum. We heard a loud rumble, a motor, a chainsaw. The door opened and Chasey came in with a chainsaw tied to his dagger dick. Gaga and Jay were still asleep. I got out of the car and fell down. He was gonna get me, but the cum washed me down the driveway and I slid really fast into his feet and his ankles broke. I just lied there, having no idea what was going on, in a sort of half swoon. The neighbors heard a ruckus and came and shoved a razor blade up Chasey's dick. He got dragged off by the hobos. The next day we found out that Christo and the Observer were in juvie, and Chasey was never heard of again. Chasey on the beat.